Last year, Tucson Border Patrol agents helped rescue more than 1,400 people all across the Sonoran Desert. Agents say with our intense heat, chances of survival are slim. Today, I rode alongside U.S. Border Patrol agent Vicente Paco.
El Salvador.
As temperatures hit a scorching 115 degrees, we were ready to respond to those in need of help.
It's physically impossible for those individuals to carry enough water.
Enough water to survive. From drug smugglers to hikers. Agent Paco said last year 84 people died in the desert because of the extreme heat.
It should not be a death sentence to come across the border illegally, and yet smugglers put immigrants in those situations.
Paco said border crossers will walk more than 80 miles to the interstate, all while carrying 50 pounds of drugs on their backs. Many can't make that journey or navigate the terrain. That's where the agents come in.
Agents are patrolling these locations, become the first responders.
Regardless of immigration status, Border Patrol steps in to help. They've also placed these blue light beacons in areas notorious for rescues, as regular cell phone service often doesn't work.
People can come here, press this button, sends a signal to the station.
The calls come in here to the Joint Intelligence Center, where dispatch receives GPS coordinates of the person in trouble. Then they send the closest agent to respond. Bottom line, Border Patrol agents want those crossing to think twice about the consequences.
To understand the harsh reality of coming across the border illegally, has one death is one too many.
Reporting in Tucson, Kristin MMJ KOLD News 13, live, local, late breaking.
My heart is so broken.
It's been 3 years since Valerie Kalanji looked into the eyes of her only daughter, Maribel Gonzalez, and time has not made it any easier.
She was just happy.
Valerie reflects on these photographs and said her little girl always put a smile on her face.
She liked to dance. She would dance like Michael Jackson.
June 3rd, 2014 was the last time Valerie saw Maribel alive. She left for a friend's house and vanished. Days later, her body was found stripped of all clothing and buried here under 2 car tires in this desert area near Trico Road and Avra Valley Road.
How could anybody do that to a child? And to treat her like she's a piece of trash or just like an object?
Kalanji said her daughter had no enemies and believes she was driven out to that location by someone she knew. Pima County Sheriff deputies continue to investigate this case, but told me at this point they have no new leads. With each day that passes, Valerie refuses to give up in finding her daughter's killer.
She didn't deserve any of this.
And is pleading for anyone with information to come forward.
We need to put whoever did this away.
If you know anything about this case, call 88 Crime. Reporting in Tucson, Kristin MMJ KOLD News 13, live, local, late breaking. Starting tomorrow, you'll face a hefty fine if you're caught with one of these while behind the wheel in Tucson, but only if you've committed another serious driving violation. At any given time, you'll see drivers on Tucson city streets texting, Snapchatting, surfing the web, all while navigating the road. But as of tomorrow, all that will now be against the law. Back in January, city council members voted to approve the hands-free driving ordinance in hopes of making our streets safer. The ordinance will be a secondary offense, meaning drivers must be pulled over for another reason for police to issue a citation. If caught, the fine will cost you $250 the first time, and a second offense, $500. Tonight, I talked to drivers and asked what they think of the new ordinance.
Definitely there's issues with people distracted driving. I've almost been hit several times.
It's absolutely a great idea because all the time you see people talking on their phones and they have their phones up to their steering wheel and they're texting and they're not paying attention.
If you're involved in a crash while using a cell phone, the minimum fine will be $2,500. And city leaders plan to review this ordinance again in 6 months. They'll discuss the possibility of making cell phone use while driving a primary traffic violation.
By that time, she had about 91% cancer cells in her blood.
Laura Cockrill recounts the scary moments when her 8-year-old daughter Abby was diagnosed with leukemia.
Reality setting in that this is our future and we have a baby with cancer now.
Over the last 2 years, Abby has gone through multiple rounds of intense chemotherapy and blood transfusions.
I miss school a lot and it makes me really tired.
But this weekend, Abby got a chance to escape the constraints of hospital IV cords and try her hand at shooting as the sun filtered through the pine trees atop Mount Lemmon.
I can just be here and just enjoy myself.
And feel like a kid again. It's all part of the annual Candlelighters Family Camp Retreat. The nonprofit group offers an escape for children battling cancer and their families who face the challenge of caring for them.
What's this?
Candlelighters also give financial help as hospital bills can add up fast.
Some people even lose their car. They can't pay their rent. So Candlelighters can step in.
For the Cockrill family, they said they're grateful to be surrounded by nature and other kids fighting a similar battle.
They get what I'm going through.
Having a weekend like this just gives our, family a break and a chance to recharge.